Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Four Lads Rangers Monday Night Live podcast. It is your very two favourite follically challenged, middle-aged, desperate for success from Rangers, success in life, desperate all around. Kenny, my very, very, very good friend. How are you this evening, mate? You well?
Desperate, mate. Aye. Desperate is what it is. Desperate for Rangers to come back. This is torture, isn't it? It's been a long week.
Aye, mate. I must admit, scraping together agenda for tonight, aren't we? So we're going to do our best, folks, to give you a show, to give you some chat on Rangers. So let's do our best. Kenny, we had Ewan McFarlane on from Club 1872 on Friday to get an update. To be fair to Ewan, it was another very good podcast. It was very worthwhile, and I think that's important for us to have a wide-ranging reach and be able to speak to Fab, be able to speak to Club 1872, be able to speak to Rangers themselves. So they came on. One of the big things was that they would be participating in the upcoming share issue, which is important for Club 1872. It's fair to say that I think that, and I said this to Ewan, and I think he agrees, that the opinion of Club 1872 maybe has been a wee bit damaged by inaction, and there's a lack of trust there. So how do they regain that? And things like John Brown joining the board, which he talks about, I asked him straight up, is this a club appointment? Which it wasn't. I would encourage people to go and listen to it. It's a good listen. It gives you an idea of what it's Club 1872, the relaunch, what it's going to be about. As I said, they are participating in this new share issue. Kenny, what did you make of it overall?
Thought it was a good interview. Ewan comes across really quite well, doesn't he? He's an articulate lad and knows what he wants to do with it. And now that there is a new board in place, he won't have to take the entire burden on his own, which is good for him. What I took from it, more than anything, I would suggest, was the fact that the relationship between the club and Club 1872 must be very, very strong again at the minute. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting offered the opportunity to participate in the share issue. So that's good news. I like that. And as I say, I don't want to go into my own personal feelings about Club 1872 because I think it's irrelevant. However, for those that have sat there and been a member of Club 1872 for a number of years now, this must be great for them because they can see what their money's going to do and what it is ultimately going to do, Stevie, is benefit Rangers, and that can only be a good thing. From the heritage plans there that I think is absolutely fantastic, to the fact that they can, when I say strengthen their sharehold, they're being allowed to buy shares, and that to me suggests that Andrew Kavanagh and the board at Rangers are really quite impressed with the way Club 1872 are going about things at this moment in time, because we all know that the relationship had broken down kind of irretrievably, hadn't it, at one point there. So when you look at it in that sense, it's good news. It's good news for Rangers supporters, and it's good news for the people that are involved with Club 1872. I personally look at it and say it can only be a good thing, Stevie. I genuinely do.
Well, we need to get away from the days of, King versus the parks and all that sort of stuff. That's what we need to get away from. Club 1872 being banned from the building, not allowed to participate in things and everything else was never good for the football club, for anybody, for the image of the football club. The fact that Rangers publicly acknowledged the donation last week of 220,000 was a step in the right direction. What I would say is, and I think this is fair, and I say it without prejudice, I think that Club 1872 have got a lot to do, but I think that what Ewan has said in the last, he's been on twice now in the last 6 to 8 weeks, and the things he said have come true about what they were going to do with the board. Excuse me, about the investment. So with all that said, I think that it's a positive step, and I want to be in a position where this football club is transparent. This football club is run well off the park. We've had lots of occasions where it seems like it's going to be. So I like things that are happening at the moment, and let's hope that that can continue. So from that point of view, it's definitely a good thing for me.
Yeah, as I say, for me, it's more important that they look to the future now and forget about the past, because my issues with 1872 have been in the past. I'm not one to bear grudges in that sense. Did nothing to me personally, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I wasn't particularly impressed with the way they went about things, and had said quite deliberately before on here at times as well that it wasn't for me because of the way it had been run by the certain individuals within it that just weren't my cup of tea. However, as I say, that's got to be forgotten about. I know that Ewan had said on both occasions he's been on, he's talking about getting a rebrand, changing the website and stuff like that, and making it easier to sign up, which is, again, it's a great thing, because having been on their website, there was multiple options, and none of it made huge amounts of sense to me. But I'm old when it comes to technology, so it's always difficult for me. But that's what they have to do, Stevie, is look to the future, build the relationship with the club, build the relationship with the fans. And there is a monumental place for an institution like Club 1872 within the fan base that's close to the club, and there always has been. It is difficult when it's such an enormous fan base like Rangers to try and get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet. So good luck to them with it. But for me, I just look at it and say, the very fact that John Brown's on board, as you say, is a good thing, because that is a tie between the club and the supporters. John Brown is John Brown. He's a bit of a legend around these parts, and that can only be a good thing, mate. And as I say, I do know that, having listened to the both podcasts, and from what certain individuals have told me, that Ewan has done enormous amounts of work to try and get this kicking and moving again, and fair play to him for doing it, because put it this way, he'll always have a place on Four Lads to come and tell us what's going on, and won't he? Because it is a good thing for us as supporters, all of us as supporters, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that the invitation is out there for everybody, really, to come and talk on Four Lads when it comes to Club 1872, Rangers Fan Advisory Board. We've had them on as well. It's the same with other podcasts. We do regularly link up with Club 22, the boys over there, and we will do that again. So, I mean, we're fairly open to doing that, because we just want to provide a platform for Rangers fans. Kenny, Jermaine Defoe has gone into management with fifth tier side Woking. That was nice news. I like Jermaine Defoe. Somebody came up here, by all accounts, scored a lot on and off the pitch, and made himself quite the reputation up here, didn't he? And he fired his way to 55 titles. And good on him, and scored, that goal against Celtic that he wanted, and always got a place, I think, for Jermaine Defoe. Patched the pod, tried to get him on the pod, didn't we? But he wasn't for having it now signed up to 5 stars, so he's lost in the ether, unfortunately. He would have been a great guest to have on, but really good news for Jermaine Defoe. I'd love to see him do well.
Oh, yeah. He did well up and around these parts, didn't he? Very, very well indeed.
Very well, Kerry. Very well.
Very, very well, yeah. And listen, he's such a lovable character. you'll never hear me say a bad word about Jermaine Defoe. What a football player, first and foremost. What a person. And yeah, did well when he was up here, didn't he? But it's listen, good luck to him. I hope it's really it's a brave thing to do, being serious for a moment. It is a brave thing for him to do, to go down to fifth tier when Jermaine Defoe's never played a fifth tier football. And you know, it's going to be a little bit of a shock to him in terms of trying to manage guys that don't have the ability, even to a certain degree, the likes of the Spurs Academy and stuff like that he was at. They'll have a quality of player there that need educated. Whereas there'll be players here at 24, 25, 26, 27, whatever it's going to be, that you can only get so much out of because they are fifth tier players. Beg your pardon, players. So in that sense, it's a brave thing to do, to turn around and drop down that amount of divisions and go and try and prove yourself. Funny enough, I have no doubt that he will prove himself. Whether it's at Woking or not, time will tell. But going by the guy and his personality, I think it's just so infectious, and I would be looking to turn around and keep an eye on him for sure, and how he does down there. But I'm sure he'll do well, and it's just one of these things, Stevie, that you look at with somebody like that, and personally, I just wish him every success. I loved him when he was here. I thought he was such a fantastic player. And the goal you're talking about the Celtic goal, the goal that will forever live with me when he was up here was a goal against Livingston, when he takes it on the drop for Tavernier's 60-yard pass. It's just one of the most sublime finishes you're ever going to see. So, yeah, good luck to him, and I hope he does well.
I'm sure JD will do well. Never been short of doing well, that's for sure. Thank you very much, RFCB4RB. Get a better name. But thank you for your nice comments. Lots of nice ones about Jermaine Defoe. Favourite goal for Jermaine Defoe? Kenny says against Livingston, really difficult. His goal against Celtic was nice, wasn't it? He sent a few for a wee lollipop during that one. I liked his goal up in Aberdeen where we won 4-2. I was at that game. I think it was Tav again setting him up, and he went through and thrashed that one in for the fourth goal. I just loved JD. He was just an all-round brilliant striker, great for Alfredo. Always talks up Rangers, always speaks really well, always talks up the club. And really enjoyed his time. Guys, Jermaine Defoe at Rangers, along with Stephen Davis, Alan McGregor, Scotty Arfield, that was the experience. That's probably what we're missing right now. If you had these guys in that calibre, we would be top of the league, that's for sure. One guy who looks destined for the exit, Kenny, finally, is Rabbi Matondo. He's in talks with Brandberg, and Rangers will rip up his contract, but will get something if he flourishes and goes on. What Rangers should really do is have a clause in the contract. If he plays 3 games, Brandberg, and play him £1 million, because he'll be safe. That's for sure. What a waste of money Rabbi Matondo's been. All the quality in the world, but the desire of absolutely nobody. A really frustrating performer. Capable, never available, not interested. I got a lot of I don't know if you remember this, Kenny. I got a lot of criticism because in an article for the Rangers Review, I think it was not last summer, but the summer before, I said I would take $500,000 for him and let him go because he's never available. And I got told, typical Stevie, knows nothing about football, knows nothing about anything. And I felt, right, fair enough, okay. He's been fit about 3 times since, did score that goal against Celtic and against Hibs, to be fair to him. And we're now almost 18 months on from that infamous article where I said get rid of him at all costs, and just to save the 30 grand a week, basically. And he's offered absolutely nothing, and we're now on the verge of getting rid of him a few months. If we get rid of him 3 months early, it will save the club £300,000. It's absolutely ridiculous amounts. I won't be sorry to see the back of Rabbi Matondo. As a footballer, I actually quite rate him, but he's never available to rate, and that's the biggest issue. As somebody that's given the club value for money, I question whether or not he's got the right attitude and things like that. I'll not be sorry to see him go.
No, I won't be sorry to see him going. I don't particularly rate him. If truth be known, he's just not my cup of tea at all. We'll need to put young Andrew Stewart in a darkened room and make sure he's okay if this happens, won't we? He's not taking it well. Look, it's best for all concerned. That's what I would say. If he can get a deal done over in Bergen, then good luck to him. It's a good club. I was actually quite impressed with them when they played. I think it was Danny Rowe's first game in charge, if I remember right. Certainly first European game. Was it his first game, Steve? I think it was. And yeah, they were a good side. And I don't know.
See, I always remember his debut at Ibrox against West Ham under Gio, and we beat West Ham 3-1. And the football we played that night was extravagant. He scored. I think he made one, and I thought, fuck me, we've got a player here. And I last seen him after that in 2024 or something, because that was it. And he's just a waste of space, man.
No, he's been injured an awful lot, put it that way. But he's been incredibly inconsistent. I don't think it's really what he's the type of player that we've ever actually needed. It's one of those that he signed as a right-sided winger when he was actually a left winger, and that's kind of always kind of upped me a little bit. That you know we've got this habit of doing, or we had this habit of doing that at the time. It just reminds me of Ross Wilson days and the way that kind of ended up, Stevie. And that for me is almost like the end of a bad era for me. If Rabbi Matondo does leave, well, he is going to leave anyway, whether it's now or in the summer. But yeah, listen, good luck to him in the rest of his career. That's what I would say. But I genuinely have no real interest in where he goes and what he does. I don't mean to be disparaging about it. I just think it's been a monumental waste of money from Rangers to sign a player like that, who, when you look at it now, Steve, I think he's 25. He's done nothing in the game. I mean, 25 years old, done nothing in the game. Look at his Instagram. You'll see he's worth a fortune. Fair play to the kid. He's made a lot of money. But no, it's just not for me, mate. It's just the type of player that I would hope and pray that over the coming years, Rangers don't go anywhere near. There's a type, and I'm afraid he's the type that I'm not particularly fond of.
Yeah, the not very good type. I'm not fond of them either, and there's been plenty of them. We spunked a good $4 million on him and Ben Davies at the same time. That was well done. That was Ross Wilson, signed under a lot of people. Michael Beale. It wasn't Michael Beale. That was Gio, who we signed. Rabbi Matondo. Remember, Gio wanted the guy that's now at Man City. Bert Conterman said Reinders. Then he wanted Reinders. He wanted the guy Doki. Needless to say, we didn't get any of them, did we? We didn't get any of the ones that Gio wanted. We got fucking Ben Davies and Rabbi Matondo. It's a glory years there. Well, yeah, I wasn't a fan of Ross Wilson. Ross Wilson didn't really want me having access to Rangers or the stadium because I was a wee bit too outspoken, apparently. Sorry, Ross. I've just texted Chris Jack for the latest. Chris has sent me back a message and he says, deal agreed with Bran. Rabbi is gone. No transfer fee, but sell on included. Kenny, what a glorious moment for four lads to be on live when that is announced. And we went through some horrible moments, Kenny. So cheers to us for all we have endured. Rabbi Matondo's time at Rangers is up.
There'll be no fucking sell on, mate. You'll see out his contract there, and that'll be him. He'll probably retire a multimillionaire. Listen, good luck to the boy. I mean, in all seriousness, I wish him every success. But I'm very, very happy that one of the highest earners at the club is now on his way elsewhere because, without digging any deeper, mate, it's been a serious waste of money.
Yeah, it certainly is. Chris Jack delivering that news. Thank you, Chris. Kenny, let's get back to your notes for tonight. Jim Gillespie obviously has started. We were going to have a wee chat on him. I have reached out and asked Jim to come on, so we'll see what's happening there. What's your thoughts on Jim Gillespie? Andrew Kavanagh told us that one interview was all he needed for him to know. He's the right one for Rangers. He didn't come the first time round because it was the wrong time, wrong infrastructure at the club. New owners, new platform for him to go and work. I've met him. He seems like a nice guy. He seems okay. I can't speak about what he's going to be like in the actual job, but I do get the sense that things are settling down a wee bit for Rangers off the park. And hopefully Jim Gillespie is going to be somebody that cuts a mustard. He really needs to bare his teeth when it comes to the refereeing, when it comes to the dealing with the governing bodies and all that kind of stuff. And probably the first big test for Jim Gillespie is going to be what happens when this report comes out about the Old Firm, and when inevitably Rangers Football Club gets shafted. We'll be looking to see what Jim Gillespie does in retaliation to that, because as CEO, that's going to be his domain, isn't it? So that'll be the first big test for Jim Gillespie.
It will be a big test, because you can bet your backside that Police Scotland, the SFA, and anybody else involved will try and put most of the onus or blame onto Rangers. I'm absolutely aware that Rangers are not without fault on what happened that day. However, there is a number of parties that were every bit as culpable or more so. And in fact, more so. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, more so. But Jim, I don't know. I met Jim Gillespie years ago, but he might not remember me because I had a wee bit of hair back then. So he might not remember that. But he's done a fantastic job in his previous workplace as a CEO at the Kibble, which is a charity in Paisley, and in Renfrewshire, and he's been incredibly successful there. He's done an incredible job making that particular charity enormous. I mean, genuinely enormous, and the majority of the credit will go down to him. What I like about Jim Gillespie, when you hear Andrew Kavanagh say things like it was one interview and I knew he was the man, is what I would say to you that I've said to you before. We need a political animal in charge of Glasgow Rangers. That's what we need. We need someone that's quite prepared to throw their weight about, and that's what we need to do, and stick up for us and defend us. And when the criticism's there, if it's merited, by all means take it and learn from it. However, it's not the only remit of a CEO. We know, you know that as well as I do. He's got 1,001 jobs to do, but that's where I feel personally that Rangers have badly let themselves down. Even since the second decade of David Murray's tenure, where he didn't give a shit. Our political weight has been non-existent for years and years and years, and we have to find a way of getting that influence back. And I hope, and I've got a funny feeling that Jim Gillespie is that guy that can do that. I think he's well liked within the Scottish game already due to his time at St Mirren, and I don't think he's no shrinking violet, Stevie. So from what I've heard, he is quite prepared to front up, so to speak. So I am really hoping that we start to see someone that's prepared, as I say, to be that face that will go front and centre for Glasgow Rangers, because I think we've just sadly lacked it for a quarter of a century, even more now than a quarter of a century. But we just don't have the influence that we really should have within Scottish football and within Scottish society in general.
Yeah, I just how do I say this? we've been in a position here before where we think we've made good appointments, right? I thought Patrick Stewart coming from Man United and everything else was going to be good. Wasn't. And then Kevin Thelwell, and you try and think your best, don't you? Because you try and talk it up, and you try and, what's the point in coming on and being negative? So I hope that things will settle down across the board with Rangers off the pitch, because I think that's the way we need it. Jim coming in, Andrew Kavanagh seems to have settled down. Good strong January. So things are okay. On the pitch, Kenny, this is where it starts to get quite exciting, because the Champions League qualification off the park is going well for us. Everybody else seems to be making a royal arse of it. Rangers could go top of the league on Saturday. We've been here now in this position before, a sliding doors moment, and we don't manage to do it. It's so important on Saturday, not only for ourselves to go top and do that kind of statement victory. Dundee United will be a difficult game, by the way, because they've got nothing to lose. It's not like Jim Goodwin's going to come and not want to. He's done really well against Rangers this year. I think 2-2 draws, 2 Desmond, 2-2s, isn't it? So, and he's done, in fairness to him, he's beat Celtic twice, and I think they were quite close at Parkhead as well. So we've got a tough game against Dundee United on Saturday, but if we blow it, then everybody else just goes typical Rangers, blowing it. If Rangers win on Saturday, it's Celtic then go to Dundee on Sunday, and that's a toss of the coin, because Celtic are not playing well. And then Hearts go to Livy, which will be really difficult, because Livy have had a lift from Martindale going upstairs and having a new coach in there, and they're difficult to beat in their own patch, and all of a sudden it becomes difficult for them, and they'll start to feel it as well. So, it's a game at a time for us, but there's got to be an air of excitement around Ibrox on Saturday. There's got to be that atmosphere. We've got to get behind the team as much as possible, and the team have got to respond. They've got to go and want it. They've got to go and hunt it. What you really want is that Hearts atmosphere and performance all over again, to go and take it to Dundee United, which, again, with respect to them, won't be an easy game. But this is massive for us.
Yeah, it won't be an easy game at all. They have actually... I actually heard Jim Goodwin, and he said that they've lost so many stupid points from winning positions that if they had managed to defend properly in just 3 or 4 games, they'd be sitting top 6. I think they're a good side. I actually, anytime I have seen them, I think they're a decent side. However, we are in a situation now where that is as big a statement as a statement ones can get, really, where you would look at it and say, Hearts have been top of the league for 7 months, and yeah, they will have the opportunity, regardless whether we get the win or not, they'll have the opportunity to go back on top if we win. They will have that opportunity, but we'll see how they cope with the pressure if we get the win of not being top of the league, because they've been top for so long. And it's not an easy game over at Livingston. You know that yourself, as you've just said. Definitely not easy. But for me, talking about Rangers on Saturday, I just look at that and say, do you know what? More of the same, please. I would be looking at pretty much as long as everybody comes back from international duty, fit and healthy, then I would be thinking it'd be quite a similar side to the game against Aberdeen last week, and I'd be very confident that we would go about our business, Stevie. It's something that I said last week, that it's really noticeable since the new signings have come in, that the physicality through the side is just enormous, and I've noticed that we are physically dominating games. And I think Dundee United will be another one that will struggle with that, because we're actually imposing our style of play on games really quite quickly. obviously we're not getting every result, that's going our way, because we dropped silly points at Livingston, and we dropped really stupid points at home to Celtic when you were in total control of the game. But if we turn up, we defend properly, mate, I have no doubt in my mind that we will get the 3 points and we'll go top of that league, and we'll see how the other two sides that are challenging cope with that, because Hearts have got a tough game, as you say, against bottom of the league. Livingston are pretty much, if they don't get a result, if they don't get a win, they are pretty much guaranteed to, that's them down. I think mathematically, I think that would be them something ridiculous, like basically down, right? But the way the fixtures are going to go, they are down. And Celtic are almost in a last chance saloon situation, aren't they? Where if they drop any more points, they can forget it. So it's our opportunity, Stevie, to really put pressure on everybody else.
Yeah, it's a big weekend. It was interesting, that stat that came up last time round. Only one weekend this season where all top three have won. So let's Rangers get the business done first. We'll preview this more, obviously, Wednesday night. Kenny, me and you will be back on Wednesday. Still no Chris. A few people have asked where Chris Bet is. Chris is not well, really unwell. He's had to go in and be treated in hospital and things. So I'm not want to say too much. It's obviously Chris's private business, but we send all the love out to Chris. Hopefully next week when he comes back, Rangers are top of the league and we can have a good Wednesday pod. It's also his birthday this week as well. So hopefully Chris is fighting fit very soon. Kenny will be back on Wednesday night. So we'll talk a wee bit more about Dundee United on then. Couple other things. Yesterday, the women's side lost the cup final to Glasgow City. Very close game. They just never took their chances, never really looked likely. The women's budget has been massively cut this season. They lost so much experience. Liv McLaughlin, they lost Kirsty Howitt. There's been so much injuries to Kath Hill all season. So such a lot of upheaval. Lost our manager, Joe Potter. And this is the first time we'd lost because we had done the double-double. So a really difficult one for the women to take yesterday in horrendous conditions. Katie Wilkinson did get one back late on. But a tough defeat, and they've been doing okay. 5 points behind in the league is okay considering what they've lost. That squad is so young. Maycroft, who played yesterday in midfield, is 16. So a tough result for them, but it's so difficult for Rangers. Anytime they get good young players like Kirsty McLean, they are off before you know it. So it's difficult for them, and that was a tough one yesterday.
Yeah, I sat and watched the game, and in ridiculous conditions. So fair play. The two sets are, both teams, if you like, to turn out and try and get a decent game of football on show. I'll tell you what, there was a couple of lovely finishes. The second goal for Glasgow City was a cracker, and our strike was an absolute beauty as well. So, listen, it's very difficult to criticise the women's team, and as you say, the budget has been absolutely ripped from under them, hasn't it? So it's very difficult to turn around and say anything other than, do you know what, they're competing while Glasgow City have a budget. I think it's almost 3 times the size of theirs or something like that, if I remember right here. And that it's enormous in comparison. So there's money talks in football, mate. We all know that, and you tend to find the one with the biggest budget will tend to win most things. And it's difficult to, as I say, put into words that you can see they were disappointed. However, I think there's shoots of growth there in terms of that team. I've only seen the women's team, I've got to be honest, I've only seen the women's team 2 or 3 times this season. I've not watched huge amounts of them. And at the start of the season, I wasn't particularly impressed. But they're getting better. I mean, it's clear as day they are becoming a unit, and fair play to them. But there's not an awful lot you can say, mate. It's just one of those things that you look at that game yesterday and I thought the better team just about shaded it, but it was tight. It was a really tight game. But they just looked more mature, more physical, slightly faster, slightly bigger, and it's kind of what you expected when you were watching it. That such a young Rangers team was going to kind of go by the wayside on the day, I thought.
We know now that Dan Purdy scouted Luke Graham at the weekend. Dundee player, left-sided defender. We also know, I've talked about this before on here, Rangers are definitely interested in Luke Graham. There's big interest, in fact, from this football club in Luke Graham. It's not the first time we've scouted him. Interest is real. He's a player I really like him. I think he is a cracking defender, left-sided, young. He's somebody that I really like. If you look at Manny Fernandez being on that side, Giga possibly not coming back after his loan, or we've still to find out about that. John Souttar right-sided. John Souttar's form at the moment, he should be back up. I think Luke Graham's a perfect signing for Rangers. If you look at him coming in potentially to challenge or be back up in that left side, it's a perfect signing. The challenge there for him is to go and do what Manny Fernandez has done. Go and be that player, go and come in. But I think that he's exactly the type of signing that Rangers should be going to make. And looking at Kenny, I'm all for Luke Graham. He's somebody I've tipped on this podcast before. The whole left side, I love a lefty. I love that balance to the defence and the team. I just think this one makes perfect sense for me. And I'm glad to see Rangers scouting and going to look Scottish-wise as well, because I do think there's talent there, and he's definitely one.
Yeah, he is a good player. Good in the air, can pass a ball, good defensively, Stevie. That's what he is. He's a good defender. And I totally agree with you in terms of looking at it, and you're saying about Manny Fernandez. Now, whether Manny Fernandez stays or not is going to be open to debate come the summer. We'll see what the offers are going to be like, but we expect a fair few of them. But whether he's first choice or second choice or not, Stevie, he's going to get plenty of game time. We are a football club that, when you're in Europe, would normally expect to play 60 games a season. And it's not realistic to have any individual play 60 games. So it would be fair to think that the boy would get 20 to 25 games regardless, as long as he can come in, settle in, and show the game that he has. And I actually don't doubt he'll do that. I think when you look at Dundee's been a bit of a hotbed for decent players over the last few years, haven't they? They're getting picked up left, right and centre from up in Dundee, and he's another one that looks, from what I've seen of him, I've not seen huge amounts of him. I've seen him against Rangers, and I've seen a couple of their games, 4 or 5 of their games on TV, but every time I see him, he looks a good player. And I'm with you 100% on the scouting in Scotland. We have to go and check and see the potential that's in our league and start to integrate Scottish players within our squad. We need to do that because I think we've lost our way a little bit in terms of being a Scottish football club that doesn't have a true Scottish identity at this moment in time. I don't think there's enough of the nationals in our team or in our squad. And I think it's almost, and I hate saying that because I know you don't like it, but it's almost a no-brainer of a signing for me because he's a good player. He knows our league. He's a young boy, but he's got experience. Everything about him kind of, appeals to me, I've got to say. I think he's potentially a very decent signing.
Yeah, only a year left, so I don't imagine he's going to be costing £4 million. I think you go in there with a solid £1.5 million and you're going to get him. I think we do need that. Somebody that will come back into the Rangers squad in the summer, made his international debut at the weekend, was Finlay Curtis, Kenny. A great rise for him. He's been doing brilliantly with Kilmarnock playing on that right side. You look at the problems we have on this right side. Hopefully Scove Olsen is going to... I mean, I would still... I know here comes a bit where we get a wee bit shouty at Stevie time. I'd probably still persist with Scove Olsen at the moment and hope that he magically turns up in the next couple of games before I really give up on him. I don't want to do that because it takes players time. and anything can happen. You know, one moment and the whole career at Rangers can change. Borna Barisic free kick at St Mirren, etc. So, but it was lovely to see Finlay Curtis get 10 minutes for Scotland. I must confess, I did not watch the game, even with Billy playing. I didn't, or Billy coming on. I didn't bother watching it. I felt awful this weekend. Was in my bed, so really struggling. But great to see the young man come on. He's going to have a future at Rangers, that's for sure.
Well, firstly, I'd rather have what you had. I'd rather have what Chris has got than watch that Scotland game. Again, what an absolute non-event. A genuinely terrible game of football. But fair play to young Finlay. He's come on. Didn't do much in the game, to be fair. But that said, now an international player, Stevie, and you've got to turn around and say that congratulations to the kid to get his meteoric a rise as this, where, you know, we were all humming and hawing in January about whether to let him go or not. We all wanted to see him get more game time in the first half of the season. He's now getting game time at Kilmarnock. I do agree with Danny Rule. I think he's probably not quite ready to play a huge amount of minutes for Rangers yet. I think he needs to bulk up physically a little bit, but everything else about his game is there for me. But I do feel that it's slightly different when you've got to play for a Rangers or a Celtic, for that matter, in terms of the physicality, because teams are that little bit harder against you than they will be against anybody else. And if he's slight or light, or do you know what I mean? Opponents will play on that. So I do think he has to bulk up and be a little bit more physical. But I want to see him come back in the summer and prove himself capable and ready. And I think that the 4 or 5 months, whatever it's going to be down at Kilmarnock, is going to really help him. And as I say, congratulations to the young boy. He's now an international player at 19 years of age. And it's fantastic. And I'll tell you, he's got a wee opportunity if he keeps this up, getting himself on a plane to America for this World Cup, because we're not blessed with a huge amount of talent in Scotland on the flag. So I would like to see him do that and then come back and be, you know, ready to turn up and play for us on a regular basis, because I do feel that with that potential that he has, he can really do a job for us, and he's an exciting talent.
Somebody's just put up in the comments, Scott Wright is a better player than Olsen. Scott Wright's a better player than Lamine Yamal. We all know that. Treated appallingly. Kenny, we've nearly managed to get 45 minutes out of this show. And honestly, we couldn't have scraped the barrel any lower to try and get I say I did absolutely nothing towards this show. I don't ever do anything towards this show. You're the one that sets everything up, and you've managed to get 45 minutes out of this almost, and I hope people have enjoyed it. We do our best to put on a show as much as possible, and to come and chat about Rangers, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable once more.
Thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. And yeah, it was one of them that you look at and think, we've got bugger all to talk about. We'll need to find something. So you keep what you do. I know you won't know this, Steve, because you never do it, but what you do is you start scrolling and try to find stuff, anything from anywhere and everywhere to talk about. So I managed to find about half a dozen things to talk about, mate, and that was it. But it is a very strange time of the year, because nobody gives a shit about international football at this time of the year, unless you are literally playing in a playoff or whatever, the likes of the Northern Irish or the Welsh were last week. But nobody cares about this shit. We just want to play football. We want to watch Rangers at this time of year. I mean, is it April tomorrow or Wednesday? I'm not sure. I can't remember which. But you're looking at it. There is no place for international football at this time of year. There just isn't. And when you look at Rangers, there's 14 players out on international duty. I know Danny Rule had went home to Germany for a few days last week. The club effectively shuts down So that's why it's so difficult for anybody to find anything to talk about. So, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that, Stevie, because we did manage to get 45 minutes out of it. And it could have been worse because we could have got about 15. Put it that way.
Yeah. Old right said Fred pulled it out the bag once more. What can we say? Thank you. Thousands of people watching as per usual. I don't know why he's doing, but honestly, absolutely love it. Roll on Saturday. Massive week for the football club. Massive positivity. Let's go and do this. Let's go and win a league. Let's go and win the league, Kenny. We've got 7 games, 7 victories. Let's just go and do this. Let's just make us happy. Why not? Go and win the
Listen, mate, I've got to say, it's the funniest thing, and I'm going to talk about them for a wee minute. Their captain turning around and saying 5 wins. We need 5 wins. And then I thought about it and I thought, well, that's 15 points. Are you honestly telling us you think that Hearts are only going to get 9 points out of the last 7 games? And I thought, maths maybe isn't his strong point. Then I realised, well, clearly isn't his strong point. But yeah, I found that mental, actually. Their captain saying something like that. I found it quite bonkers when I thought about it. And I know it was a few days ago, but that's how much we're scraping the barrel. It's just popped into my head because it's one of the last things club-wise that I've read or listened to. But yeah, 7 games, mate. Quite literally, go and win every one of them, and we've won that league. I'm confident that we're going to win the league. It's been a yo-yo season for that, Stevie, because there's times when I'm like, oh Christ, we're not even going to finish top 6. Then I'm sitting thinking, well, we might finish 4th, and then I'm thinking, well, we're going to win this, and then 2 weeks later I'm going to go, I don't know if we'll qualify for Europe. I don't know how or where we'll be in a fortnight. I genuinely don't, because it's been such a roller coaster of a season. But for me, if we go about a business, I feel that we're the team that's peaking at the right time, Stevie. We're the one that are bedding in the new players that are doing well. So I've managed to kill another minute or so.
yeah, we're going to get to 50. This is what
Proud of
incredible.
myself, really.
You know what it is? Ruthless German efficiency from my best friend Danny Rule, right at the best possible time. Huge thanks to everybody in the comments that like and subscribe as well. Please do. If you haven't, please do that. We'll be back Wednesday night. Kenny and I, same 7:30 Wednesday it is, and we'll do another 45 minutes or so. Hopefully we have some news to discuss. If not, we could even get some questions in, and we'll try and mix it up a wee bit. We're on Friday night, and then Amrit is on the gantry with me on Saturday. Rangers could go top of the league. Amrit on the gantry, geez, man, he will be, I've said it before, like Santa Claus on Prozac. So yeah, just a personal thank you to everybody that has become a member of Four Lads. If you want to do it, you can just scan up there in the corner from as little as 99p a month. Your donation helps run the channel. It helps get all our equipment. It helps people get the games. It just helps, and we really, really appreciate everything that you do. Recording with Andy Firth next week. It was supposed to be Tuesday, but I'm taking my kids bowling tomorrow night. So we've got a dad and boy time, because I've got the kids for the week. So I'm taking them bowling tomorrow night, which is going to be fun. So I put Andy back a week. So that one will be the next episode of Rangers Years. Chris Buck still remains the latest one for members to go and watch. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors as well: Rhino Express, Clyview Fire Protection and Joinery, Afro Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, Candid, and RYDC, Rangers Youth Development Company, who sponsor our Sunday. Absolutely delighted with their support as well. Big thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good Monday. Have a good Tuesday. We'll see you Wednesday. Kenny, thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Everything you do for the podcast, all your hard work, being my mate, being lovely and bald, just being you in general. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, mate. We need to stop wearing the same colour, mate. It's a bad look.
No, listen.
Wins
Black.
type thing.
Black is slimming. So I'm keeping on wearing black.
That's it, aye.
Plus, it's Polly Hilfiger, so it's all right. It's nice. Anyway, right. We've got over 50 minutes. Achievement, unbelievably good. Thank you, everybody. You take care. Have a good couple of days. Bye.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.